have an expression in science, you stand on the shoulders of giants. Like you move science forward based on what people have done previous to you and that have gotten there first and laid the foundation for you to build on. Yes, hi, I'm Dr. Luis Estevez, and I am the founder of AIMM, which is Advanced and Innovative Multifunctional Materials. So I went into a PhD program at Cornell University for material science and engineering because I knew that if you can control materials on a, nanoscale, like really, really tiny scale, when you can make little particles like, a couple of nanometers in size, that's like pretty remarkable. So I really wanted to get involved with this. Then I got a postdoctoral fellowship over at Pacific Northwest National Labs. That was really exciting because essentially what that was I got to basically propose what I wanted to work on to the national lab, and if it got accepted, they would let me do it and pay me to do it, which was, it's like a dream job. After that fellowship, I came to UDRI, and that's where I started to kind of think about other things I wanted to do. So I've been working on energy storage for a while, and with these porous carbon materials and loading them with all kinds of nanoparticles. And then I started realizing, these can really be used for water purification. And I was like, this is where I'm going to make an impact, and this is what I want to do. And luckily, I was at UDRI, and it's a place where they let you do the work that you want to do. So I started working with that, and and then I realized, you know what, I can move this technology further along if I spin it out into a startup, and that's really what got the whole ball rolling. And then I started talking to people at UDRI, making sure I can do that and how to do that, and I found out that they have this tech transfer program called Propel Dayton. So I got involved with that. And then I tapped into these tremendous resources in the Dayton area. I went to their startup boot camp, and I learned a lot of, at that point, I was a scientist and I was not an entrepreneur. And I was like, knowing that I didn't know quite a lot and I needed to learn quite a bit. And so that was really beneficial to transition from scientist to entrepreneur at that part. I would say my parents for sure, and my dad in particular has had this kind of way of just tackling problems head on and just like charging into them as opposed to taking a passive reactive response. He was very proactive. And I learned this early on, like when I was a busboy in my parents' restaurant. I remember, I think I was like 14-ish or something when I first started doing that. And I had to lift up a tray of like loaded with glasses. And so I was like, I need to learn how to pick up trays in order to become a waiter. And my dad's like, oh, so just pick one up. And I was like, well, how do I do it? Like, do I just he's like, just grab it. And so I went for a tray that was like nearly empty. He's like, no, grab that one. And it was like just brimming with like filled glasses and things ready to tip over. And I was like, that seems like maybe something you work to. He's like, no, just do it. And at the time I was like, my dad's this crazy hard boss who's driving me like crazy. But in a way, I know what he was doing then. He was like, well, if it breaks, it falls, who cares? Like, but he just wanted me to kind of approach what I do at the restaurant that way. The way I've approached my career path, my path into entrepreneurship is really a lot on what my dad said, is just jump into it. If that's what you want to do, just jump into it and do it and work hard to achieve it. And if you make mistakes, fix them along the way instead of looking from the outside and concentrating too much on how to do it and trying to overanalyze everything. It's best to just make a mistake and get it out of the way and then just move on. Entrepreneurship and my ethnicity and the fact that I'm a child of immigrants that came to this country. And I think part of what makes me an entrepreneur that I am is having this immigrant story, like from my parents who both immigrated from two totally different countries into this country, and then eventually became citizens, had families, settled down, all that, and started the restaurant and all the other things. That was crucial for me to being an entrepreneur, I think, because it really set this idea in my head that like if you want to get somewhere, you just do it, and if it's going to make you better in the end, and it's going to be rough in the beginning, it's going to be tough, and there's going to be a high risk but a potential for a high reward. If you can go for it, go for it. Like this is kind of, I think, the mentality of a lot of immigrants have coming into this country, because they see it as like a place where you can really do something. And so my parents did, and they I'm not, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, of course. So, and I wouldn't have the same opportunities if I was born elsewhere, good or bad. But as a country, we have a lot of opportunities and a lot of wealth. So I'm pretty lucky, I feel.
My name is Luis Estevez, and I am an entrepreneur.